Now that the 2025 NBA draft has wrapped up, it's time to move on to the next one, being the 2026 NBA draft, which seems to be stacked with the top three prospects all shifting around their high school. And we're going to be scouting this class today. Now, I'm going to be going through all the top prospects and telling you guys who the stars of this draft class are going to be and who are the fallers for this next upcoming season. And before we get into the video, I would just like to preference by saying that I have no scouting experience and I'm just going into this draft pretty raw. Pause. And okay, let's just get into it. So we're going to start this off with the number one prospect in the upcoming draft, Darren Peterson, who committed to Kansas. Now, Darren Peterson is kind of a combo guard because he mainly plays the two, but he can play the one because he is a decent passer. Now, he and what I've seen from him, what I've been scouting from him, is that he's a decent defender, but he's just an amazing scorer. Like, he's really athletic, can shoot, he can shoot off the dribble, he can catch and shoot, and his comparison was very hard for me to find. I mean, I kind of saw Devin Booker from the shooting, but he's more athletic than D Book. And I kind of saw Shea from the mid game. I just don't think he plays as slow as Shea. I think he plays way faster. And that's when I came up with Anthony Edwards. I mean, they can both shoot threes, shoot mid ranges, pretty fast players, pretty athletic players. Yeah. So I'm going to give him draft comparison, Anthony Edwards, and I do think he's the top three prospect in this draft. I just don't think he's the number one prospect. On to the second ranked prospect, or the person I think that should be the number one ranked prospect, AJ Dybantsa, who committed to BYU, which is kind of a surprising move. I did not really see that coming. But Munster at Utah Prep is absolutely insane. I mean, scouting him, watching his highlights, watching all the stuff, he could dunk everything. But then I've realized he kind of has a silky smooth jumper too. And he plays kind of like a 6'9" Shea. But then you start looking more into his game. And honestly, my draft comparison for him is T Mac. He can really get up there. And I didn't know T Mac was this good of a dunker because I'm not really too familiar with T Mac's game. Like, I know he was a good shooter, but 6'9" frame, really lengthy, can shoot. I think he's the number one prospect in this draft. I think he will be an MVP one day in the NBA. Word me on that, because he definitely will. Come back here when his career's over. He's gonna have like 2 MVPs. Next up is probably one of the more famous players so far, and that is Cameron Boozer, committed to Duke, the biggest school so far. And I think the third ranked prospect. I think he is really good, could be really good in the NBA. I just don't think his ceiling or his floor is as high as the other two prospects previously mentioned. And I think his draft comparison, I'm giving him Anthony Davis. I mean, he could defend really well, could pass decently. He's plays more like a big man, but he can definitely shoot, definitely fast and athletic. But I just don't think he's as good as the other two prospects. Now, on to his brother, Caden. Now, Caden Boozer is next up. He's also committing to Duke, just like his brother Cameron. And honestly, he plays very fundamental. He can shoot. He's 6'4", pretty bulky, can kind of strong, can shoot, finish. He kind of get up there sometimes for dunks. Plays very fundamental. Can play good D. Can pass pretty well. Honestly, I kind of see Tyrese Maxey. You got to hear me out on this one, though. I don't think he'll be as good as Tyrese Maxey in the NBA. But like a good starting caliber, I kind of see Tyrese Maxey play style. But yeah. Next up is Darius. And I know Darius Akuff is ranked higher than Caden Boozer, but I just had to get him with his brother. Now, Darius Akuff is an undersized point guard who can score in many different levels. Can score in ISO, transition, off ball, on ball. One of the best point guard scorers in the draft, maybe even the best one. But he is undersized and lacks on D and is inconsistent from the 3-point range. So honestly, my draft comparison for him is Lou Williams. An undersized guard with high IQ, can score many different ways, but also not really going to be a star. So I just don't think he will have the high ceiling out of every point guard in this draft. The next player we're going to be talking about is the fourth ranked prospect, and that is going to be Nate Ament, who committed to Tennessee. Now, Nate Ament, I think, has the absolute lowest floor out of everyone I've talked about. Although he's a 6'10" small forward, the first thing I noticed is how skinny he is, or how he doesn't play aggressively, or he doesn't have the strength or the physicality. Now, maybe he can get his strength and build up his muscle like Giannis did, but Giannis was not this skinny. I swear to God, this is the skinniest NBA prospect I've seen. I know I cannot be talking, but Nate Ament, he is decent defensively, and he's a good shooter, playmaking promise kinda. I kinda see a Jonathan Isaac. I just don't think the offense is gonna be that good in the NBA. I think he has the lowest ceiling and the lowest floor out of everyone I've named. On to the next prospect. Next up is Chris Jr. going to Houston. Now, he is really athletic. That's the first thing that really stood out. He can cut to the basket really well. Can't really post up because he doesn't really have that much strength. And his jump shot's unreliable at times. And his basketball is kind of lacking. But he has so much athleticism. It could be so good. 6'10 frame and really athletic. I think his floor is kind of low. Could be like a Marvin Bagley, could waste his athleticism, but his ceiling could be really high, I think, like an Evan Mobley. And for my comparison, I'm going to give him Evan Mobley because I do think he will develop into a player like that. Very lengthy and athletic, could develop the jump shot. And last but certainly not least, Koa Peat. Now, Koa Peat has been a top prospect for a while now, and I kind of see his defensive, like his good help defense, his basketball IQ is decent. He's really athletic, pretty strong, kind of plays like Cam Boozer, but not exactly. The three-point shot's kind of shaky, but he can kind of shoot the mid-range, kind of pass a little bit. And for all of that, I kind of see Knicks Julius Randle, even though I hate Knicks Julius Randle. I can also kind of see an Al Horford type player. Now, I think he will be good in the NBA. I think he'll be a decent, maybe a few-time All-Star, maybe a good starter. I think he has a pretty high ceiling. Not the highest, but definitely not the lowest out of all people we've named. And yeah, so that was my scouting of the 2026 NBA draft. I did no script for this video, so it was really raw, and I did all the comparisons myself. So let me know how I did. Let me know if there's any players you think had different comparisons, you guys have different opinions on. I'm sorry I don't have the mock draft already ready, but I'll have my big board ready pretty soon. Go check out my shorts channel. I'll probably post my big board on there. And I'll come out with the mock draft after I do my power rankings for next season. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.